Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Talkers on the Wall video. We have another segment of the Last of Us series. We're season 2, episode 4 now. Jesus, we're cruising along with this. And I feel like there's a lot of good moments in this and quite a few dull that just didn't hit. Now, I guess we'll just go off to it, dishing off to Luke as he's a part of these Last of Us videos and hopefully more than just this series. But yeah, go for it.
Yeah, so the episode I thought, obviously it wasn't like too crazy, nothing like that. We got to see some more of the WLFs, how they all came to be. Isaac and his squadron or whatever, like he wiped them out right at the beginning, or like how he...
Talking about a cameo, did you expect to see Josh Peck in this?
No, yeah, no, that was crazy.
That was wild. I was like, it literally like reminded me of like the Drake and Josh meme where it's fucking Josh Peck pointing at someone.
Yeah,
Get a
yeah.
load of this guy,
Yeah, it
like.
was definitely very wild to see. But yeah, like we got to see the original like WLFs go out and like how they
Yeah.
came out to be, and they got to talk about like everything, and they called them the voters or whatever because Fedra like suppressed all their power and whatnot.
Yeah.
And yeah, I thought it was a
Uh,
good thing to see.
so, uh, as far as attacking this episode, do you kind of want to just do it like pros and cons, or do you kind of want to go just like chronologically?
We can do pros and cons. Yeah, that works.
I feel like pros and cons is kind of what we've been doing, and it's just a lot easier if I'm being completely honest.
Yeah.
Now, let's just start off with a good note. I feel like sometimes we're just a little bit too negative on the show.
We can share
So with that being said, I would say the cool part is, Isaac, I was really worried when they left for Seattle that it was gonna turn into a fucking snooze fest and it was just like face disinfected and then go off and do their own thing. But Isaac is a serviceable enough character to where I'm interested in seeing what he's gonna do next. And don't get me wrong, I might be wrong on this, but doesn't Isaac normally come in a little bit later in the game?
Yeah, so he comes in like actually a lot later. Like we don't
Yeah.
actually see him until we start following Abby through the game, because we follow Ellie's first 3 days in the game, or like in Seattle, and then it cuts over to like Abby's perspective through Ellie's 3 days in the game, and like it's
Yeah.
kind of just following her footsteps a little bit. Like you
Yeah.
kind of like hear about what Ellie's been doing and everything like that. So it
And it is a bit of a different twist to it based on what you're saying. I appreciate it. I like it. It's a big thing with these threats to where they're not just gonna like be put in and you're like, oh my god, like who's this person? I don't care about them.
mhm.
Like you might not have an emotional attachment to Isaac as a character, but you're gonna be interested and be like, oh shit, if Ellie like is in like a room with Isaac, you're like, oh my god, like Ellie's like might be in danger. Like this guy's no fucking joke.
Yeah.
Or like even like you mentioned it's a part of Abby's point of view, and that's gonna be fun to just see her deal with Isaac. Like to a certain extent. I mean, I'm not
Mhm.
like glued to the TV to watch it, but I appreciate that they're going through the steps for it.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, obviously the show has been a lot different from the game, in a lot of aspects. Just meeting Isaac and actually like getting to know his backstory and everything like that is a big change. Like you don't see any of that. You kind of, I think there's notes around the game that tell you that he was Fedra and he like changed sides and everything like that because he thought it was fucked up. But like actually to see his backstory was, I thought, was really cool and really good. And then we get that scene of him interrogating the Seraphite, and you get to see
Yeah.
like how crazy and like how like he's just like sitting there, and at first you think he's like just making some food or something, like a simple pleasure in the apocalypse, and then it like cuts and
Then
you
we
just
found
see
out a
this.
simple pleasure.
Yeah, exactly, you
Yeah.
see like this Seraphite just like butt naked, like,
Yeah.
he's like, I won't give up anything else, like you guys attacked first and then we attacked first, and there's that whole like concept, and what's the word
Yeah.
I'm looking... or
The
like the
chicken before the egg. Yeah.
yeah, that's what he said. And then he,
Yep.
tells him to hold out his hand and he burns him.
Yep.
And it's just like, oh my
And,
God, who is this guy, you know?
and it's kind of cool. Like, personally, like as far as storytelling goes, violence and like just straight up gore for no reason, like if you were just to look at this like bare bones, you could say that it was just like shock value.
Mm,
But I personally don't think that's the case at all with this. I think for one, it shows how like tied they are to this like belief system of
mm,
like what they believe in. You know more about the Seraphites than I do, but
mm,
it really, as a viewer, like going at it like bare bones, like I said before, it is kind of cool, like how to see like how die hard they are about this. Like I feel like a lot of these Last of Us like villains and like antagonists come off like, I'm gonna be just completely honest, just straight off bitches that don't look like antagonists.
yeah.
Uh, and Isaac, like he, he's definitely fitting the bill as like a fucking psychotic
Yeah,
antagonist.
he definitely like seems like a force that like you don't really want to mess with. Especially like to the Seraphites and like that whole thing. Like yeah, like you were saying before too, like you get to really see how loyal like the Seraphites are to each other, and like the fact that he was already like burning the other pan to like burn him again, and the Seraphite already had his hand like pulled out and was like, I'm never gonna give this up. And then he's just
And
like, he knows, so he just shoots him.
yeah, and that's fantastic because a show like The Last of Us does not need to do that at all. Like, I don't know if that scene's in the game or not, but they don't really need to do that. Like
Mm,
they could have Isaac just off screen kill people or do whatever as far as like torturing, but just to show that is like one, you're gonna be glued to the screen because you're like, oh my god, this guy's getting tortured. But
mm-hmm.
also in like a sense too is like they're making an effort to make Isaac menacing. Like they gave him two pretty chunky scenes in this episode,
Yeah,
and it's gonna pay off more to when we see him, because like personally, like Isaac's one of the most interesting characters in the show now.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
it's cool.
yeah, 100%. Like I said before, like we don't get like any backstory, like you don't see any time backstory with Isaac. It was just like kind of notes here and there, I think, in the game to actually like see how this all came about and everything, and you actually get to follow him and everything. Is very like interesting and very cool to see. Um, like in the game, I think Abby meets him once or twice, and they like talk about him and talk about how like how he's kind of a hard ass and everything like that in the game, and then now to like actually see it. And I wish I knew the actor's name because I think he is doing like a really good job so far.
Oh my God! Wait. I Speaking of the actor, I think that's Jim Gordon from the Batman, right?
Oh my God, yeah, of course. How did I not? Jesus. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, that is.
because I saw him. I was like, when he was just like doing this menacing talk, I was like, why he acting like a detective right now?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
that's Jim Gordon, bro. Yeah, I can't believe
yeah,
I didn't even like realize that. But yeah,
I
like
know. Good pull. Good pull. Uh,
good vocal.
yeah.
But yeah, just to like see him and everything and like actually get to know more about his backstory and see how he actually is as a character, not just like how he reacts to the other characters talking to him and everything is I think it's very good.
Yeah, no. I guess, is there like more, like I guess the starting, the intro, and now the start of development for Isaac. Was there like any more like pros for you as far as this episode goes?
Um, I'm trying to,
I
I should have watched it again before we
Yeah,
started this. Like,
but
it just seemed,
in the same sense too, if we're watching peak TV, you don't
mhm,
need to.
yeah, yeah. Like not to say that this isn't good. Like, I think it's just like kind of a slow episode, like in some
Yeah,
parts and in other parts. So what they went to the news station, right? And you saw the wolf members hung and everything like that, and their
yeah.
intestines ripped out. I thought that was really good. That was like ripped straight out of the game. Um, But like the only difference is they go like it's like kind of during the day that they go, and then
Yeah.
when they like go through the tunnels and everything like that, they come out at night, and like that's kind of where day one ends in the game. And then also in the game, you're following through Tommy's footsteps and everything, and that's how you get to like there's this other base that they go to before the news
And
station.
then he did what Joel did in season 1, right?
Yeah, yeah. So he does
Yeah.
the whole like you pit them
Going to the
against each
map.
other.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So to like not see that in the show, I thought it was not necessarily like a disservice, I guess, but like I just wish it kind of followed because it would have been great to see like Tommy's rampage, but like not actually follow Tommy.
Yeah, and I low key, I'd say what's yeah. So going back to it, it was a good move, I think, for this episode to put it into another pro that there was a Noah Jackson involved with it.
Hmm.
Because why not just make it a mystery on like where Jesse and Tommy is if they end up together? Because
Hmm.
if you have a little bit of knowledge of the game or just just of Last of Us 2, yeah, you really just that that they're on a rampage. Why not make it a fucking mystery? Why make it a collision course to where like I mean I almost say it's more like excusable now. Like Tommy can just be like, hey, like the people of Jackson, I'm going to rescue Ellie and I'm taking Jesse, but that's all we're doing.
Hmm.
And then by the time he gets to Ellie, like I mean he has a pretty much free reign on just going on his revenge path like he does in the game. So
Yeah.
that I mean it's more believable than like revenge over Joel. It's rescuing Ellie. It's like it makes more sense.
Yeah. Yeah. So in the game, yeah, obviously, they're following Tommy and everything. And then we see Jesse come in a little bit later and like he kind of like surprises them or something like that. And or he like helps Ellie catches up with Ellie while she's like
Yeah.
off doing something because obviously, as we know now, or Dina is pregnant. So
Mhm.
in like I think it's like day two in the game, Ellie makes Dina stay because she doesn't want Dina to get hurt or the baby to get hurt or anything. So, like we don't see Jesse
Fucking
until like
being dead.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Oof. I don't know how I feel about
we
that.
we gonna get to that.
Yeah. But yeah, like we don't see Jesse until like later, I think like halfway into the game through like uh I think it's like halfway through day two or like right at the beginning of day three, something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just like we're following Tommy and then Jesse comes along. But I'm interested to see how Tommy and Jesse come into play now. Like, are they going to be together, like coming to find them, or what?
I mean, personally, I don't unless you got something else to say. I think I'm out of pros, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, yeah,
uh, let's just get into it. Like now this is where we're really gonna get into the meat and potatoes of kind of what our negative thoughts going into this was gonna be,
hmm
and by golly gee, it's sure turning out that way. And I just gotta say, first episode, there's some good moments with like the dialogue between Dina and Ellie,
hmm
but lordy. Oh, a big point I was gonna put into before I lose this train of thought. How lazy is The Last of Us gonna be to where the infected literally get our characters a jail, like get a free jail? Oh my god, free! Oh my god, they get out of jail for free card.
Yeah, yeah.
Like how many times is that gonna happen? Season 1 when they're with Sam and Henry, and
hmm
now back again with this, and I can't tell you how many times it's gonna happen or it has happened. It's just extremely lazy. Just it like just let both of them like maybe have like Ellie make some moral choices on like saving someone from like Abby's crew or like anything like that, or maybe even Dina saves someone from Abby's crew and like Ellie's like, what the hell are you doing, like that type of thing, like
hmm
because like they are enemies, but at the end of the day like Dina might understand that Abby's crew isn't Abby. and like she was there before they knocked her out, and they're like we're not gonna like kill you. Like they literally told Dina that, like they're like we're not gonna kill you, we're not gonna kill you.
Hmm.
And they're very gentle with Dina, so I think she might have some sympathy when it comes to that.
Yeah,
But
that's
what were your thoughts on that?
yeah. So I think maybe they could do that. Honestly, I'm not feeling like a lot of like anger coming from Ellie, like or anything. Like you sent me the clip on TikTok. Like the difference between the game, like finding out that Dina was pregnant and everything. Um, like Ellie's just like kind of making fun, like, oh, I'm gonna be a dad in the go,
Yeah.
but then in the game she's like,
Stay
pissed.
behind.
Yeah, she's pissed because like it's affecting her plan and everything. Like Ellie is gonna do whatever it takes in the game to like make sure that she kills all these people because they killed Joel, and now like she finds out that Dean is pregnant and she's like, well, now we can't go on like a suicide mission basically. But in the
Yeah,
game it's
yeah.
or in the show it's just like not that. Like it's just like it feels like Ellie could just like drop the whole wanting to kill her thing at any point and just be like, hey, let's just go have a family. Like I
Yeah.
don't really need to do this.
I 100% agree. Like, there's no urgency at all. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
if you're gonna do like the revenge plot line, you really you gotta like dive deep into the character's psyche,
Hmm.
where they lose bits of their humanity to get to it. Like they're less caring. Like Ellie just might be more of like brash and aggressive, like she is in the game.
Hmm.
Granted, like to your point, and like you're saying, we're just not seeing that at all, and it's like it's like mediocre dialogue into a mediocre storyline, if I'm being completely honest. Like, and there's some moving pieces around it,
Hmm.
but them as the focal point of this whole like world, like I think there could be better things to watch as far as that goes, if I'm being completely honest.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely feel that. Better things, not feeling it. Like it just,
Well, another thing too, like going back to even season one, like it's just like when Joel rescues Ellie in the finale,
hmm.
there's not like a crazy amount of emotion and rage into that either. Like it's not just an Ellie thing; it's the Last of Us show type of thing. They do well in times where they're emotional with each other, but when it comes to rage, it feels like they're just pulling like a punch. And in
Yeah.
a show where it's like about survival, and now season two about survival and revenge, you
Hmm.
gotta have that desperation. Like I don't why should I care if it doesn't seem like Ellie cares?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a very good point. Um, like I definitely feeling that kind of way too. Like what's like she's more interested in this baby now, like she needs to
Yeah.
the whole point of her coming to Seattle was, to get revenge on the people that like murdered her dad basically,
I,
and now it's just like, oh,
and you
uh,
also got to think too, like not only like I think they bring it up too, like Seth brings it up in the previous episode, but it's embarrassing. They went into their like around their like I mean you could say their homeland, and
mhm,
they just murked one of their strongest and one of their most important. Like
yeah,
imagine if you were a part of a tribe and that happened. Like
yeah,
that's no joke.
yeah, exactly.
I mean I'm still gonna like cover the show, but it's
Yeah,
just
like
I
I'm still
I'm
interested
just
to see what's happening next. Like obviously we still have three more episodes. Um,
I'm gonna give this episode a 6 for me personally, and that's really only because of the moving pieces with Isaac and the mystery of what's happening with Jesse and Tommy.
yeah, yeah, for sure. Anything else you want to really get into right now? Anything you want to cover?
I mean, personally, no, I'm pretty much set on this. Like it, I just wish there was more to talk about. I wish the characters were more interesting, and I wish there was just more of an impact. Like I said before, the main thing is why should I care if Ellie doesn't? And that's just the way it looks right now.
Yeah. Yeah, uh, I get that. Hopefully the next episode's a little better. Hopefully we get to see some more. Maybe, Tommy or Jesse will come in and we'll see some
I'm
more
just
action or something.
I the thing is the action's super boring. Like the choreography is boring. We've seen it all of season one. And make it more creative. Like just put in like the stalkers more early. The stalkers or anything just to come in and just spice this story up, just make it so like the moral of the story is if Ellie doesn't care, why should I? And that's pretty much where I'm going to leave this off. I don't know if you have any closing thoughts, Luke, on how you want this to be handled. What do you think can be done to implement a better story and just a better product for its fans?
Like I just need Ellie to be a little bit more, like I just want to see her get mad. I like they they just killed Joel, like they killed her dad. Like
Yeah,
no matter what they were fighting about, they killed her freaking dad, man. Like she watched them do it, like stab what was that, a 9 iron into his neck, and she's just like, yeah, I'm gonna be a dad.
flip the six up. It's a nine now.
Yeah,
They...
yeah, but I don't know. I just need her to get angry. I need to see some like angry Ellie because the game does it phenomenally. I just need them to. I don't know. I need her to get
Yeah.
angry, I guess. I need to see some rage.
So I know you really want to see this. I personally want to see it. Do you think we will see it? You think?
I don't know.
You,
A
you
man can
think we're
hope,
gonna
I
get an
guess.
Ellie crash out?
I hope, like, if anything, I hope they're like saving it, or something like that, like saving it up for like a few episodes, and then like she'll finally something will happen, and then she'll just snap, and then she'll just go crazy for a little bit, or like maybe the next episode she will make Dina stay, and Dina won't want to, and then they'll get into a fight about that, and then she'll like leave on her own, and then she'll just be fucking pissed, and first person she comes across, she like takes out a whole platoon or something. I don't know.
Yeah, because now that you got paradise within the couples, and that's cool, Like so, actually, I'm just gonna go into a little bit like of a pro. Actually, I just actually this came back to my mind.
Mm,
It's cool how Dina got caught, and we see more of this Ellie tank to where she takes the bite. I thought that was done really well, and that is believable. Like it kind of serves into the point where she is immune. Let's fucking like use that to the show's advantage, to where these zombies don't get any of our main characters ever.
mm.
Like let's see it. And I'm gonna give credit to that. It makes sense. Ellie has strong feelings for Dina, and her taking the bite. It was well done for me.
Yeah, yeah. I guess we didn't even get into like the reveal that Ellie is immune or anything to Dina, because yeah, in the game, same kind of thing happens, except for they're wearing like gas masks because it's like those spores or whatever.
Yeah,
But Ellie's masks breaks, and Dina's like, "Oh God, like you're gonna get infected," and Ellie's just like, "Go, go, like I'm fine, keep going." And then she like
yeah.
same kind of thing. It's like, what do you mean you're fine? But she just keeps going, and then she's like, "Oh," and
And
they talk about it and everything.
and it's also cool too, because as much as Dina cares about Ellie, she's super defensive about like one not getting fucking ripped open, like alive by this infected person that could be like someone that you really care about.
Hmm.
And I thought it was like believable, like it was very well done how she waited for Ellie, like she's even though like Ellie was saying like, I'm immune, like Gina's like nah, like you're just saying that to stay alive,
Yeah,
and you know,
like
and
she was
I thought
definitely
that was
like,
cool.
yeah, like she was very upset about it and everything. And then but she still it's about survival. She doesn't want to do it. She like it was upset that like she even got bit or anything, but she's like, I have to do this. That's her only way of survival. It's how they've like grown up. If you get
And that's
bit
a
or
that's
anything.
a that's a moving scene.
Yeah.
That's a good scene for this. Like that's probably. dare I say, the best Ellie Dina scene in the show. Like, if I'm being honest, like, uh, then like the whole I get like my emotions, like the love scene, like after, like right after, I'm like, okay, like,
Yeah, that was kind of weird.
it was like out of the norm. Like I don't know. Like personally, like if my significant other like was cured of being a zombie, the first thing I wouldn't do is just like eat a carpet. But it's
That's
whatever.
crazy.
But I I mean, but yeah, like at the end of the day, HBO is notorious for having those things. Like I'd be lying if it wasn't in other series of the show. So I mean, I'm gonna give it the pass. It's not like atrocious. I've seen a lot worse lovemaking scenes. So uh, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, no, I get that.
I'm pretty much tapped out. I feel like we covered a lot.
It's some pretty good footage here.
Yeah,
And
no, that's fantastic.
I hope everybody's been enjoying the gameplay.
Yeah, yeah. Now, this is the end of this episode for Talkers on the Wall. If you like the video, make sure to comment if you see the end of this video that Ellie is infected. I don't know. Just comment that you watched the end of this video. I can't think of anything. But
Yeah.
yeah, you all have a good one.